everyone, Dana here with Love Solar Flowers for our tutorial time. We are moving to Easter tonight for our tutorial, so I'm kind of excited about that. And we'll just wait for some people to come on and we'll talk about what we're making tonight, what I've already done so far here. And then we will start making a little Easter bunny door wreath basket thingamabob. And yeah, so I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes to come on. I see you guys. Hey everyone. I'll tell you what I've done so far once we have a few more people on. And then, hey Carla. And then we will start up. Okay, so if you just got your flowers ordered from our big sale the last 2 weeks here, and it's your first time ever shopping with lovesolaflowers.com, and make sure you join our community group. That is facebook.com/groups/lovesolaflowers. Hey everybody, I see all your hellos. Hope you are well tonight. So yeah, so if it was your first time shopping during our big sale that we just had, join our community group because there are lots of tips and tricks and everyone encourages each other and shares ideas and all that kind of good stuff. If you missed out on the sale, we have lots of sales, so don't worry. We have tons of sales, but make sure you get on our email and our text list so that you never miss a sale, okay? So we are going to make this little basket for our door with an Easter bunny theme. And it's gonna be fun because I love little Easter bunnies. I mean, I love bunnies, the animal in general, but I do like things with the Easter bunny in them, so I think it's gonna be cute. And I'm gonna tell you what I've done so far. So I bought this basket. This little basket was from Hobby Lobby, I believe. And I liked the idea of a basket wreath because, you know, Easter baskets. So for me, I wanted a hanging basket. So you buy these, they're flat on the back. So they lean right up against your door or even on a wall if you decorate the inside of your house for Easter as well. What I have on the inside is I've put moss, and then I put a foam block. And what I did with this foam block, I have moss that has adhesive on the end. It looks like a wrapping paper of moss, and you cut it into whatever shape you want and you peel the backing off, and it's got adhesive, and you can literally put it over floral blocks or if you need to lay something down flat. And so what I did was I covered my foam piece with the adhesive moss, and then I tucked in my loose moss so it all is covered. So you can't see anything that we're gonna stick down in there. No wires or anything else is gonna be able to be seen from down below or the back. So I've done that. Now I'm gonna put this on, actually I'm using this for my door. So I'm not gonna worry about, because the moss is such a mess and I don't wanna make a big mess. Hi Connie, on video. So I would, if any stems are visible in the back, I would go back and cover them with the moss. But I'm not gonna worry about that tonight just because it's a really big mess to do moss, and I don't need that right now. As you can see, all my moss is coming down. But once it's all in there, it usually stays just fine. So we are gonna do our little Easter basket wreath tonight. Again, if you have missed our sale, don't worry, we have lots and lots of sales. Our website is lovesolaflowers.com, and at the bottom there's going to be a place for you to sign up for emails, and usually there's a pop-up for texts, and you can sign up both of those ways. We don't try to annoy you with a million emails and texts, but we do like you to know when we have our big sales, so it's not going to be like spam texts or anything like that. If you want to join that, it'll tell you when things are ending or when we're having big sales and such. And then again, we have the Facebook group if you are not a part of that. Okay, so I see about 50 to 60 people on right now, so we're gonna start making our things. So I had the basket. Again, I have moss, and then I have a foam block that has been wrapped in the adhesive backed moss so that you can't see anything on the inside there, but you still have a place to stick in. So I did buy a pre-made, like, what would you call this? Like a spray a little Easter spray. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it fancier with our stuff. I just gotta cut it. It's very strong. Okay, let's see. All right, so I'm gonna trim it down. And it's got some Easter eggs on it. Of course, you don't need to buy an already made spray. You can make your own and just use stems and buy like the loose eggs. But for me, I like to save time. And since they already made something cute, I will go for that. Where can you buy sticky moss sheets? Connie, I got mine at the Hobby Lobby first. I saw them. And then now I order them on Amazon. So I think it's called like Moss Roll, adhesive moss roll. I can look up the link when we're done with this video. But it's so good because when you do a box, it is not, because the moss roll is not so messy. It's the loose one that's messy, and you're trying to like glue blobs down. So you just cut it and you lay it on the top and it's perfect. I know, it's so hard. And these are really good clippers. These were also from Hobby Lobby. These are heavy duty. These are like the green ones that I use. It's the exact same thing. They're just red. They're pretty heavy duty. These were at Hobby Lobby. The brand name is called Kloss. Okay, so I'm gonna stick this little guy in. And I'm just gonna stick it down the back. And again, when I'm done with the video, I will come back with loose moss to cover any stems in the back. But it's such a mess that I don't need to do that right now. Okay. So what I did, I wanted mine off to the side. I am very big on like asymmetrical pieces. I like things that aren't just straight up and down, straight right and left. I like them to go off to the side and all. So I did mine a little bit off to the side. And again, the basket's gonna have a flat back like this. So it's gonna hang on a door. Let me pull this back a little bit so you can see the top since it's so tall now. Now I wanted some cascading pieces. So I'm using this. Now, just a little tip. So if you are in a state that gets very hot for Easter, it's best not to use preserved greenery, but you can use dried greenery or, you know, fillers. So I am going to use dried fillers tonight. Not that it gets hot. It doesn't get hot in New Jersey at Easter time, but just to show you guys, you know, that you can use the dried with faux so that you don't have a problem with the heat and preserved. So I'm going to stick this out of the side. Okay. I'm going to show it to you in a second. Just because I wanted some cascading pieces. And I'm going to shove that down as deep as I can get it. Okay, so do you see this kind of hanging out the side? And we're going to fill this up with flowers. So right now, it's okay if it looks like a little wonky, you know, just hanging out there. We're going to make it nice and full. So no worries about that. And again, any place that you can see a stem that bothers you, you can come back with the moss and just cover it up. Okay, so far we've got this side completed out. And now I'm gonna do my, oh, my egg fell off. Hold on. I lost an egg. Let me glue it on. I was wondering where this color went. I was like, I knew there was a green egg. So let me just put that back on. I'm a little too rough with it. Okay, my egg is back in place. Okay, so now I'm gonna add some faux silver dollar eucalyptus to fill in the other side, and also to put behind these eggs just to make it, you know, I mean, the egg spray is cute, but it's not really like, you know, high-end quality. So I am going to put some higher quality fillers and stuff in there as well. So I think I'm going to try to, let me pull this closer, try to see if I can fit this in here and still pull all the other stuff together, let's say. So yeah, so I'm just gonna fill this with the silver dollar eucalyptus, and then I'm gonna pull some of this stuff forward so that it's not so empty looking. so it's not so, you know, I mean, it's a little cheesy anyway with the eggs, like on purpose, but I mean, this is one of the holidays that gets kind of cutesy-ootsy, but I wanted to fill it a little bit so it's not crazy, you know, empty. Okay, so I'm just mixing that in there, okay? And then I'm gonna take another little piece and I'm gonna put it on the other side. So I'm gonna stick that in there and then I will show you what we got. So just gonna push it down and then I pull the stem through the bottom. I mean, it goes nowhere. Wind, rain, sleet, these things will be stuck in this basket forever. I'm telling you. And again, the moss, you can just go back and you could fill it. So I got that, and then I wanted a little bit more just at the base here. Okay, and I always like things cascading out of wreaths and things like that. Just gives it a little fancier look, a little extra fun. I'm obsessed, you know, with the greeneries and the fillers, so I never have a bare piece. And then one more. My clippers are under here. Where did I put them? Oh, right next to me. Okay. All right, so just to recap, we just finished a big sale at lovesoloflowers.com, and if you missed out, please, please, please sign up for, you know, our email list and our text list so that we can never have you miss out on a sale. And you'll find that at lovesoloflowers.com. There's the spot to sign up for emails. I'm just poking a little hole in this foam to get it started because with that adhesive moss, if it's not like a wire like this, it could have a little bit of, it needs a little head start. So I'm just making a little hole. Usually I use, actually I have a scissor. Usually I use a pair of scissors and I shove it down in there. Okay. So I'm just starting a little hole so I can fit my greenery in there. And I'll turn it around in a second. I know it's like covering my face right now, but okay. Here we go. All right. So I filled up my back. Okay, and again, I wanted to add some of this higher quality silver dollar eucalyptus to make it nice and full. Again, we're gonna be adding flowers and stuff to make it not look so like bare and kind of chintzy looking. So we've got this going on, and again, you can pull some of this stuff through to the front so that you don't lose that look. And I've got this stuff cascading. Again, we're gonna have flowers and stuff. But the best part is this next part. Okay, it's so fun. I have on this side a little Easter bunny head. Okay, so this is just the head. We're actually gonna add hands in a minute. But I've got this little bunny head, and I'm gonna cut his stick down a little bit. The Easter bunny head was at Hobby Lobby as well. Okay, so the bunny head was at Hobby Lobby along with the basket wreath. Okay, so he's cute. I'm gonna slide him in the front so that his head's like poking over the basket. I'm putting the stick behind the moss that I've already put in there. So it looks like he's peeking out of the basket. All right. So I'm just gonna fill over his little stick with some of this moss. Again, because the basket is open, you can just tuck little pieces of moss in to cover anything that you might see. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, so I got his little head peeking through. So I had all of my greenery and stuff that's tall go off to one side, and then his head that peeks over on this side. Oh, again, I like a more asymmetrical look instead of just straight up and down. It gives it more of a design and more of a, you know, higher end look when you aren't just straight up and down and whatever. So let me grab his little paws. So I've got flowers here, and I'm using 1.5 inch zinnias, okay, little mini zinnias, to glue on the end of the basket so it looks like he's holding on and peeking out over the basket. So I'm just going to load it up with hot glue and glue it directly to my basket. Let me see. Can you see? I'm going to hold it up straight for you too. So I got these little baby zinnias. He had a white nose, so white paws was fine. I'm just going to hold it on there though. I'm not going to let go until it's dry. I'm going to show you how cute he looks. Look. So it looks like he's holding on to the edge and peeking out through the basket. Okay. Now, I'm going to put, usually I do all my fillers first, and then I put my flowers, and then I go back and finish with my fillers. Because I'm using, again, I'm using dried fillers as opposed to just preserved, in case, you know, someone has a very hot area during the summer. It's not good to use some of those moisture preserved ones. The dry is fine. So I'm gonna do my flowers first now so that I can easily tuck in my dried, okay? So I've got my little guy. Again, let me hold him close. See his little paws? It looks like he's kind of holding over the edge. So I wanted to bring in a bunch of these colors. So I've got some orange and yellows and pinks. I did also bring out a blue to bring in some of those like little ball things by the eggs. Some purpley pinks. Let's see what I can fit in this guy. So I got a bunch, and then I'm just going to stem these, and then I have little baby jazzies that I'm going to keep white to look like little wildflowers, okay? So we are just going to start stemming these guys and filling in the wreath. Now, we always start with our bigger flowers at the base. So I'm actually going to put these little guys out of the way because we want to fill with these bigger guys first. Approximately cost. Let's see. Let me see. I think I have the price tag still here. So the bunny head was like $6. Now I think they were on sale because Hobby Lobby always has their sales on like seasonal items. So I'm gonna say maybe like $25 to make it, and I probably could sell it for like $75 maybe. I don't know. I'm not good at pricing wreaths because I always make mine. And people will pay a good amount of money for wreaths because they bring them out every year. It's not like it's a one-time use or something. But yeah, so I think it's about $25 if you were to every single thing in this thing. So anyway, we're gonna start with our bigger flowers, and they're gonna go at the base of the pieces. Now these wires are pointy enough to go into that foam through that adhesive, and I'm just gonna start filling. Now we want to layer, okay? So what we're gonna do is our big flowers at the bottom, and as we go up, we're getting our flowers smaller and smaller, and we want to layer them in there. So I do like to just look, I don't want to overwhelm the bunny. And this is 18 gauge wire, the same wire we use to stem flowers for bouquets is the same wire that we're using for this project. So I'm gonna stick this. Now again, I like to make sure I don't color block on these things, meaning I don't want a big pile of yellow flowers all together. I want the colors to be spread out. So let's see, let me do this side next to this button. Let's see what color. Maybe yellow on the other side too. I love this flower, and I don't want to lose it somewhere. So I may put him like up where I can see him good. So let me see, I'm gonna put this behind my bunny just a little bit. And I do want him to stay the center of attention, so I don't necessarily want to overwhelm him. So let me lift him up. I'm gonna hold him too. Okay. So I'm gonna find a spot that kind of is behind him a little bit more. So I tuck it kind of behind his head. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's so cute because I just think they're so cute. It looks like he's like, you know, peeking over. And I love that. So let's see, I don't need these ones. I do want to use this orange one somewhere, like where you can see it. So I'm going to do a nice long wire. So I want to make sure my wire is long enough to reach the foam and where I'm going with the flowers. So I might need a longer wire than that. Okay, because I do want to go through the foam because, you know, if it's windy out or whatever, the wreaths, you do want to make sure the flowers are in something, not just kind of floating there. So I'm going to push this in. All right, I got to go from the side angle here. Okay. And the best part about using wires, I know some people ask, you know, the differences between bamboo sticks and wires. The reason why I like wires is because you can kind of maneuver things easier so that I can put it in the foam and I can bend it over to exactly where I want it to go. I do want to use some pink ones over here. So I'm going to get my pinks. And I want to fill in those places as well. So again, you got to see before you wire it how long you're going to need your wire in order to reach that piece of foam. Okay? All right, I've got a little wild lily here. Lilies are an Easter flower. I ordered a bunch of the wild lilies. Okay. And I'm just going to layer it up to reach the height. Okay, so we're going to do, how you layer is the top of one flower touches the bottom of the next flower. And that's how you get a good layer and you keep your wires covered. Okay, the bottom of your flower meets the top of the flower under it. And that way you get a good layer and the wires are all still hidden. I'm going to bend this a little bit so the front of my flower is kind of showing. I don't want to cover my eggs, obviously. Now we're also going to add other fillers, so don't worry about like just the amount of flowers stuck in there. So I do want to bring some blue onto this side. I want a little bit of everything on this side before we fill out the other side. Now the other side, again, I wanted it asymmetrical, so the bulk of our stuff is going to be on the side that's taller, because you don't want to overwhelm. You don't want to overwhelm the side that's supposed to be a little bit shorter and everything. So cute, right? So again, I'm just going to find the foam. Let's see. I have these two pink flowers I might put on this side, and then I'll be done with this side. And then we'll move to the other side. Okay, I wanted to keep it bright, but I do like to have a little bit different types of color combinations. I don't like to just kind of do expected ones. So I kind of went off of the little balls and Easter things, that Easter eggs that were on this already. But added, you know, a little bit more touch of some of the colors that are just background colors, like the blue. There's only like a little bit of blue in it, but I wanted to bring that color out a little bit more by adding a flower with the blue. Behind the rabbit's head, I don't want to go crazy with flowers because we don't want to look like its head is, you know, floating in flowers, but at the same time, it looks like he's kind of pushing the flowers out of the way to peek through the basket. So that is the look, you know, that I'm kind of going for. I think I want another blue here between these pinks. And then maybe if I have a little yellow, I'll look to see if I have a little yellow. If not, I will just use what I got here. Actually, you know what? I have those little white, I have the little white jazzies. I think I'm going to add those in just to bring a little bit of that light color. So I am going to put those in as well. Okay. All right. So I've got this side with the colored ones. And again, we haven't put any of the fillers in between or anything yet, so don't worry, we are going to get some greens and stuff in between there too. So this other side, let me see what I call it here. Okay, I'm going to do behind his head, but not like where it looks like it's like jumping out of his head, you know? So we're going to fill behind his head a little bit, and then we're going to do our fillers, which is always the fun part for me at least. This one's, again, a little bit backwards. We're doing more of the flowers first, then the fillers. I'm going to lift it up just to slide that in. And again, the foam is right there. Okay. And let me see. I want to have like behind his head not so full. Okay, so let me show you so far what we got. So I think I'm going to keep behind his head kind of empty there and go off to the side a little bit with these flowers. Because again, if it looks like it's coming like up out of his head, it might look a little weird. So I'm going to just make these go off to the side a little bit. And again, we've got that foam covered with the moss so that we can pierce that, if I can find it where it is. We got to move my leaves out of the way. There we go. It's hard to do it like backwards, like so that you guys can see. So I hope that when I lift it up, you can see it better. And then I'm going to make these guys come. These I'm actually not even going to reach the foam. I'm just going to put a little wire on it and just squeeze a lot of glue on the wire and tuck it behind the flower because it's hanging off the end here. And then I'm going to do the same with my little baby guy here. I have a little purple baby guy. And then I'm going to show you how to fill this up with some greens to make it nice and full and not just now a pack of flowers. But I do want to add my little white jazzies. So let me add my pink, and then we're going to come back with the little white ones just to bring some brightness and some cuteness, because those little jazzies are so cute. So I love the little baby jazzies here. And again, I might just kind of glue them into place. I might not try to wire these little baby guys and try to get it all the way down the foam. So let me see if I can just glue it to the other flowers because they're so teeny. It just is easier. So what I'm going to do is I actually put glue on one of the petals and I just squeeze it against the side of the one that I wanted it to go to. So I'm going to add these guys. Let's see. Maybe up here. We add him up there. They're so cute. They look like little baby wildflowers. Again, if you had just taken advantage of our sale and it was your first time, make sure you join our community group, which is facebook.com/groups/lovesoliflowers. And that'll get you into a community where we all share ideas and give advice, all that kind of good stuff. If you missed our sale and didn't even know we were having one, we have them very frequently. You just have to make sure you sign up for the email alerts and the text alerts so that you never miss out on that, okay? Hey, Johnny. So I'm gonna hold this up and then we're gonna do our little fillers. So we're done with the flower part. And again, those little jazzies, I'm just gluing them to other flowers and to the leaves. I think they make a cute little addition to it as well. Okay, so this is how it stands. Again, he's off kind of to the side a little bit, and most of my stuff goes up this way. Okay, so I've got it. It's nice and colorful. And now we're gonna do some fillers that are fun. So I don't need my wires. We're gonna start with some green star flowers. And I like this bright green because it makes it very spring-like too. Yeah, Johnny, I got the head at Hobby Lobby. The best thing about Love Soul Flowers, star flowers, is they have very, very strong stems. Okay, they're not the kind of crumbly star flowers. They're really good quality. They have strong stems, so you can easily break these little bundles to add to your pieces. So now I'm just going to bend my flowers forward, and I'm going to add this bright green star flower. We have star flowers in different colors. And again, I'm just breaking off a bundle. And then I'm going to put hot glue at the bottom of the, I know, right? They're so strong. I'm going to put glue at the bottom of my bundle. If my glue stick will go, there we go. And just tuck them in to where I want to fill this in. So these guys are cute too because the whole thing looks like, yay, I know, Ma, you love wreaths, right? You know, make it very, very springy. Again, the dried greenery is better to use than preserved if it gets very hot. New Jersey doesn't really get too hot during Easter, so I don't usually have to worry about it. But if you are in a place that does get hot for Easter, you may want to use the dried greenery and fillers as opposed to the preserved ones, because preserved can get, like they call it, like weepy, because the heat is too much for the glycerin that they've used to preserve your greeneries. Okay, so I'm going to tuck the greens in. What did you put inside the basket? So first I put moss in it. Then I use a moss that comes in a roll that is has adhesive on one side, and I covered a foam block with the adhesive moss so that it would be covered. And then I went back after I pushed the block down in there. I took moss and just kind of tucked it in to cover it. So yeah, so I'm just being creative with how to cover that up as well. I do like a lot of this kind of greens because it kind of looks like grassy, and it makes the other colors pop. When you put the greens in between these bright colors, it always makes them, you know, pop a little bit more than if you just left them right next to each other. Okay, so I think that side's good. I'm going to put some on the other side, and then we'll move to our next filler. Again, I wanted to keep it super bright, super cheery. This is actually for my front door because I needed an Easter wreath. I hadn't have an Easter wreath in a little bit, like that was really cute. So this is actually for my house. So I definitely wanted to keep it nice and bright. You can go with a little bit, you know, more pastels if you like pastels. You certainly could do that. But I wanted bright for my door. My door is a blue, and I wanted it to be really a big pop, you know, in front of it. So you definitely, Easter can definitely pull off, you know, pastels as well. Okay, I just want, oh, I broke my petals. It was a little rough with my lily. It didn't break, it just bent. It bent and it stayed because I had glycerined it, so at least it didn't break because it was nice and soft. All right, I'm gonna do my last little piece of greens between my lily and my other guy over here. Now, if you're a bow person, you certainly can add a bow to the top of this. I don't know how to make bows. I'm not really a bow fan. I mean, I am when other people do it, but not of my own. So if you want to add a bow, certainly you can do that. Okay, so let me show you what we got. So do you see how like the green in between the flowers really just makes it pop? And the colors are a little distorted when I have this like ring light on so that you guys can see everything. But he's pretty bright, and now he's got green in between. And again, that just makes it so it's not blocks of flowers. I have some orange baby's breath. And again, I did dried things, not, there we go. Got some orange baby's breath, and it's the dried version. It is not preserved baby's breath, because again, the dried will stand up to your weather. So I'm gonna find a few places to tuck this bright orange. Isn't the basket cute? So this is from Hobby Lobby. You know, they have lots of sales, so it didn't cost, you know, an arm and a leg. So I'm just gonna peek this orange through where I have blocks of other colors. I don't want to go crazy with it. That's why I only got this little stem of it. Just another way to add some brightness. But I don't want to go crazy. We don't need to be like a piñata threw up. but it is Easter, and we do want, like, you know, brightness and fullness. So I'm just going to keep adding this. My leaf is covering where I want it to go. There you go. Again, just more of like filling in gaps. I'm going to do a little bit of orange on the other side, and then I'm going to be done with the orange. And again, I just want to stay with happy bright colors. Again, I went and followed the same color scheme as that pre-bought little, I guess I called it a spray, like a little Easter spray over there. So I just kind of stuck with that color combination. Okay, so now that I've got the orange little pops filling in, I'm going to move to yellow starflower. Okay, and I'm not going to go crazy with it. Again, the reason why I use colors in my fillers, even when I have colorful flowers, is because I like areas to be broken up. So over here, there's some pinks and purples. So if we put a couple little yellow starflowers, it makes all of the colors pop, as opposed to if I just put green in between it. And again, not every project needs to be bright and crazy like this, you know, with all these different colors and everything like that. But Easter is a time where we can play around with it a little bit more. So I've got my starflowers that are yellow, and I'm making the same little bundles, okay, and I'm breaking those off, and I'm adding those to just a few spots. Again, I'm looking for spots that just need a little breaking up of either solid green or flowers that are pressed together. So I'm going to actually flip this towards you so I can squeeze this in. Let me see if I can work on it upside down for a second here. That way you can see what I'm doing. Now you can add your fillers and everything all the way up this tall piece, but I don't really find it necessary because it's already got the greens there, and I don't really want the color to necessarily go all the way up there, because I think it's not necessary when there's eggs and everything else. So I'm going to leave this kind of tall part alone. And I'm just going to finish filling in my yellow here. Hi! I see people just joining. We are making a little bunny peeking out of a basket. I'm working on it upside down so that you can see it right side up for a second. My little Jazzy disappeared back here. Let me pull her out. I want this leaf out. Okay. All right. So let's see, do I need yellow anywhere else? No, because that's yellow. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it back around so I can see my final decisions here. This little egg up here, he's so far away from everybody. I feel like, I don't know why he's so far up, but maybe I'll fill in with these. So I have some Billy balls. I just have 4 of them. I don't like to go crazy with them, but I thought they were cute because they kind of mimicked the eggs. Yes, you will. Yes, you can see all of our videos from the beginning. As soon as I'm done, I share it, and you can rewatch it as many times as you want. Okay, so I'm gonna put the Billy balls up here because I felt like that egg was kind of lonely up there. I'm gonna put some glue on the back. Yeah, this kind of stuff is fun. Like for holidays and things like that, I always feel like maybe do something a little bit different than I always do. Although I do like colors and fillers anyway, so it's not like different, but but I do like to be able to be extreme and it be like okay. So I'm gonna put my Billy balls on this side too. To find all of Love Sola's fillers, there's actually a tab that is called fillers. So when you go to the website lovesolaflowers.com, you can just literally use a drop-down box if you're just wanting to look through fillers. So let me see how I want to put these little guys. I want to get them on the right angle. Okay, I'm going to do one at a time. So when I do things like Billy balls or thistles, I usually do combinations of 2 or 3. I never just do one little lonely guy hanging out there by himself. So I always do in sets of 2 or 3, depending on, you know, what it is. But like even thistles, if you like the Eco Nopes, which are blue thistles, and again, I always do them in little sets. I think I just want to put just a couple of these bottom here. A couple little star flowers. Got a couple little star flowers. I'll stick in here by the Billy ball just so that you don't just see its stem. There we go. Okay, so let me hold it up for you. And again, you can come in if you like leafier greens. I don't think I need that. I'm just looking to see if I want to. But again, you can put a burlap bow on the top. I think the bunny having a bow on his neck, though, for me feels like kind of like a bow. Okay, so let me just show you kind of up close what we did. So see the bunny? We made the mini zinnias look like he's holding over the edge, peeking out through a garden of flowers. We used colors that matched this spray that I had purchased, but I kind of tried to cover up the spray just a little bit with some higher end silk greens in there. And again, we didn't use preserve, but we did use dried fillers from Love Sola Flowers. And you can find that in the filler section. It's cute, right? It's going on my door. So maybe I'm really excited because I have a snowman on my door still, but I do not want any more snow. So I thought maybe this is wishful thinking on my part if I do that. So yeah, I'm gonna pull these little balls through. But yeah, so I'm hoping that maybe this is gonna give me some luck of getting warm weather here in New Jersey. Actually, it was a little bit warmer this week. It was in the 40s, and one day we even had 50s. Again, we filled the bottom with moss and a foam block that used the adhesive roll. And he's peeking out, and then we just, again, I like asymmetrical. I also like cascading pieces. So for me, I like to be heavier on one side. So again, I have the tall and the height. See all the tall height on one side and the cascade on one side. And this side is more simpler. And asymmetrical just gives it, like to the eye, a little bit extra design, as opposed to if the bunny was just in the middle and it was literally just flowers around his head. I think that the difference in heights and things going on gives it a little bit more of a spin. But if you're not comfortable doing something like that, This is kind of the project that no matter what you do, it'll be cute because we're talking bunnies and Easter. So if you wanted to center him, but I do like him on an angle. I do like to angle things. I think it gives it more of an interesting look. So if you haven't experimented with something like that, maybe this is a good time to do that because, you know, with an Easter and a bunny, kind of anything you do is going to look cute, like I said. So again, we left behind the bunny a little bit more bare because I don't want it looking like there's flowers, you know, sticking through his head. But you can do, again, pastels are good for Easter. But I just went along with this spray. It had oranges and yellows and blues and pinks. So I just went along with that. But you can do anything you want. And then if you have I was thinking about this. Actually, I almost bought it at the Dollar Tree today. So the Dollar Tree, you literally, they sell just pom-pom rabbit tails. So if you hang it somewhere, like if you have a big gap between your doors and you keep your door open so you see the back of the wreath, you could put like the pom-pom tail on the butt. And again, I'm gonna go in and fill this with moss where I can see this. You just stick it through the little crisscrosses. So I am gonna cover that myself, even though you don't see it on my door. But you could always put a little tail on it if you do see the back. I think that would just be cute, a cute way to make the back look finished as well. If you just get his little, you know, tushy on there. So anyway, I hope you had fun with this. I hope it gave you some ideas on how to maybe be creative with shapes and everything and how you kind of fill and layer and leave the other side a little bit more bare. And I hope to see a bunch of little bunnies in our group. Again, that's Love Soul of Flowers group, and it's facebook.com/groups/Love Soul of Flowers. And we love to see you guys make our tutorials. Lately, we have been having tons of people sharing what they made after using these tutorials. We had some candle toppers and things like that. And I love to see how you all like create the things. Like I come up with something and then you guys put your spin on it and it's totally yours, and it, like, you know, it's from the tutorial, but it doesn't look anything like mine, and I love that. And so please share all of your work so that everyone can see, you know, the way that you can take these things and really just spin them to be yours with your style, because that's the point of this, is to make it yours, not to just, you know, copy exactly, you know, copy and paste. It's more of you putting yourself into the project, which is what makes it fun. So please share in our group, and I hope you had a good night. We are going to do another project next week, actually, that I'm excited about. So we usually are here on Thursday nights around anytime between like 8:30 and 9:30. So Thursday nights is the night we try to have a tutorial every week, if you're just joining and didn't know that. So that's it. All right, happy crafting. Can't wait to see your fun spring things so we can move on from the winter and have some bright, happy colors and be warm. Okay, everyone, have a good night.